Thank you very much for joining me again for Amazon Sellers Breaking News. Today is Friday, September 6th, 2019, and I'm going to talk to you today about some really significant stories that Amazon sellers need to know about, things that you need to know about to maintain your accounts and maintain your listings. Here's the list of topics today. Intellectual property complaints or rights owner complaints against sellers, multiple, sometimes dozens of complaints against your account. Breaking news story number 2, arbitrations against Amazon are on the increase. This is where Amazon does not resolve issues with you amicably. Breaking news story number 3, and this is something very dear to my heart. It's when Amazon refuses to continue to allow you to deliver products yourself, where your merchant fulfilled is being suspended, or your account is suspended and Amazon is requiring you to go to FBA in order to continue to sell on Amazon. Last but not least, the new terms of service that Amazon is imposing on all sellers all over the world. And finally today, we have that video for Amazon sellers to watch. It's on YouTube right now. And at the end of this news broadcast, we're going to give you a preview of our line-by-line, paragraph-by-paragraph breakdown of the new terms of service that Amazon is imposing upon sellers. Specifically today, where Amazon promised to give sellers 30 days notice before any suspensions, but they reserved 3 huge, gigantic, enormous loopholes for itself to continue to harm sellers without any notice. Those are the top breaking news stories, and I'm going to get into those stories right now. First breaking news story, intellectual property complaints. Multiple intellectual property complaints, multiple rights owner complaints against the same account. Now, we see many sellers, hundreds if not thousands of sellers who get suspended on the very first intellectual property right complaint asserted against their account. Other sellers, generally larger sellers, can withstand 2, 6, 12, sometimes more complaints without their accounts going down. Now, we believe it's because you're making Amazon a lot of money that you can withstand more complaints. But you never know which complaint is the one that's going to be the tipping point, which straw is going to break the camel's back. So we are recommending across the board that every time you receive an IP complaint, every time you receive a rights owner complaint, that you contact whoever asserted that complaint against you and try and get a retraction. Now, we negotiate retractions every single day. Sometimes we get retractions because the complaints are absolutely baseless. Other times we negotiate for retractions of the complaints when the complaints have merit. Whether you did anything wrong or whether you did absolutely nothing wrong, the goal should be the exact same. Get that complaint retracted. And we are seeing an increase in the number of larger brands, an increase in number of smaller brands that are asserting complaints against sellers all over the world. Second news story today, arbitrations against Amazon. We have an entire team devoted to bringing Amazon to arbitration. Now, what is arbitration? Arbitration is your last-ditch effort to compel Amazon to do the right thing regarding you, your money, or your account, and also your inventory. If Amazon is refusing to release your money to you, they do not have the right to steal your money. The contract is terribly one-sided, but we are very successful in getting money for sellers. Same thing comes with your inventory. If there are issues with your inventory where Amazon failed to log it in properly and they logged in 3 pallets rather than 5, or Amazon refused to release your inventory to you, you have a right to recoup your inventory or money to pay you for that inventory. And you are not impotent if you can't resolve things amicably with Amazon. If your POAs don't work, if your Amazon appeals don't work, you can take them to arbitration. And there are expedited arbitration procedures, and there are non-expedited arbitration procedures for larger cases. But I want sellers all over the world to know that there's an increase in the number of arbitrations being filed against Amazon to compel Amazon to return your money, to compel Amazon to return your inventory to you. And we also have had some success in getting Amazon ordered to reinstate your accounts. Now, there are also multiple resolutions. Not every arbitration has to go to a hearing. We're bound by certain confidentiality provisions, but I want sellers to know that if you cannot resolve things amicably, You still have some arrows in your quiver. You are not impotent. You can take Amazon to arbitration. The loss of your ability to sell products with merchant fulfilled. Now, often if you're writing a plan of action, we find a lot of success by arguing that you will shift from merchant fulfilled to FBA. Does Amazon grant these plans of action? Does it grant reinstatement based upon this argument because they're going to make more money from you? I don't know, but I do know that argument works. However, in many cases, going FBA is not feasible because your margins are too low. In those cases, you need to write a really great plan of action to persuade Amazon staff that your issues are resolved, that consumers will receive better products and have better customer service. And we've also had success recently by getting local politicians involved. If you're a local business and you employ people, and part of their job is to ship products to your consumers, by shifting to FBA, you are arguably going to lose those jobs for your community. Consider getting your local politicians involved, having them contact Amazon, and we can help your local politicians contact Amazon because we know who inside the company to contact. These are some of the things we learned from our 10,000-foot view, and by representing, according to Amazon's lawyers, 75% of all the sellers involved in arbitrations against Amazon are represented by our team here. The new terms of service and Amazon's promise to give sellers 30 days notice before a suspension. Now, Amazon has reserved 3 gigantic loopholes where it will not give you 30 days notice, and they are exercising these loopholes every single day. The loopholes include Amazon accusing you of a material breach of the agreement, deceptive, fraudulent, or illegal activity, or that your use of Amazon has somehow put at risk the consumers or Amazon. And these are 3 gigantic loopholes that Amazon has used even in light of its new contract and its new promises. Now, you're going to be seeing a clip here of our video on the new terms of service, specifically with the 30-day notice before suspensions. Please watch it. And at the end, if you'd like to watch the entire video, and I think you need to know what the new terms of service says, please go to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, Rosenbaum Familaro. Watch the entire video. We're producing an entire series of videos where we are reviewing your new terms of service and explaining that contract to you line by line by line, the changes and also the pre-existing issues that are in that contract. And if you are considering hiring anybody to write a plan of action for you, if you are considering anybody to address an Amazon appeal, they better know that contract inside and out, and not just reading it, but having the ability to interpret the legal terms in that contract, in your terms of service, like material breach. You cannot write a great plan of action unless you know the difference between what is a material breach under the law and what is an immaterial breach under the law. So thank you very much for watching Amazon Sellers Breaking News. Enjoy the preview about the new terms of service, and please go over to YouTube and watch the entire video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic weekend, and watch tomorrow when I have my son, Max Rosenbaum, talk about great news for Amazon sellers.
The agreement and they fail to cure within 7 days, that's enough to suspend you, and they don't need to give you 30 days notice.
So it then begs the question, what is a material breach? Now, there is specific law on what is material and what is immaterial, what is significant and what is insignificant.
About a case I worked on regarding a trademark complaint a client received. This client is very smart.